Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategic or compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at MMTLP and more news on drilling. We're also going to be looking at an update from the AST survey and finishing off by having a look at a review of the weekly watch list and earnings for MMAT Metamaterials. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the markets. So first headline here from Market Watch: economists are embracing the notion of no landing for economy in 2024. So the consensus forecast is for continued growth of the US economy, low unemployment, although risks are still remaining. And from Reuters here we can see that improved profit margins are now highlighted as the bright spot in the US earnings season. So the earnings are certainly better than expected, and hopefully as these continue the economy certainly gets stronger. So what's happening this week, we can see here in terms of inflation, we can see from investing.com, what is your bet for this week's US CPI inflation report? So the estimate is 3.3% year on year. That was October, and previous here we're comparing that to 3.7% year on year, so that would represent a decline of 4%. So hopefully that will be perceived as good news by the markets. Let's start with updates for drilling. So shout out here to C-Plan, who's just posted earlier with regard to MMTLP. Let's talk about the pipelines. There are 2 horizontal wells that are currently shut-in producers, Cactus A35 and also Founders A25. So both have been tested and proven to produce gas in commercial quantities. So this is good news, and it also states here we now have a pipeline extended to the roadside across from the lease, and there seems to be a plan to hook these wells up. So that's certainly good news. So we'll have a look at the information with regard to the plan shortly as well. So some of the information here was also achieved from obtained from the Torchlight Energy previous presentation, but on this image here we can see a sign here warning petroleum pipeline. So certainly looks like something is happening. So let's have a look at the link to the presentation. So on here, in terms of the Oro Grande project, new basin discovery, we can see highlighted on green there. First 2018 horizontal well drilled. So the references are there highlighted in the presentation, and it goes on to say here both have been tested, proven. So these are the 2 wells that are circled there, and what we can also see here in terms of an image from above, we can see the distance 5.4 miles to the gas line, and that is obviously looking at the University Cactus A35 number 1, and we can see here it used to be 1.99 miles, but according to the new photo it is by the highway. So that is something that is positive, certainly in terms of reducing the cost of delivery. And then here, if we have a look at the image here that shows A35 flare and oil sample 37 to 41 gravity. So the implication of this is the type of oil, and the type of oil here that we are showing is 3-41 gravity, and that is a premium price oil. So let's have a look at some further details of images and a video in terms of the drilling. So shout out here to Mike James, who's just added a picture here that we can see on the left, and hashtag MMTLP drilling. So in the second image here we can see the community. It looks like there are 2 new lease pads going on in the Johnson property. So let's now get a take on this from the actual video that was shared. And the next thing I'd like to update you with is in terms of the survey update from Lolly. So let's have a look at the post and the results. It states here we had 266 people respond to date, and of those shares plus the whales not in AST, we are just in excess of 49.7 million shares not at AST, and that is as of October the 1st, 2023. So in terms of the maths, that represents approximately 43% of shares needed to fill AST. So we're not quite there yet, and we do need a little bit more movement. And it looks in terms of an average, and again not counting the whales, and the average share count per shareholder, we're looking just in excess of 16,900. In terms of looking at 64,000 possible shareholders, that represents, I think, just over 1 billion shares. So again, give or take. So the updated FINRA FAQ said that there was not a significant naked shorts, but obviously in terms of this estimate, that certainly does suggest that there was naked shorts. And the final message here is call your representative. We need an audited aggregate share count, and we also need a subpoena. And finally, I'd like to finish off by having a look at the earnings for MMAT Metamaterials. So what I posted earlier is that Metamaterials have released a 10Q quarterly 3 report, including financial statements. So we're looking at in terms of revenue and product sales. This has declined, but contract revenue has increased. So let's dig a little bit deeper. So I'm going to start by having a look at the 10Q here, which was issued, and then if we move on to look at the balance sheet and focus on assets, in terms of the key highlighted changes here, I can see total current assets has gone down. So previously at end of December 31st, 2022, the company had just in excess of $22.6 million worth of assets. That is now just in excess of $15.9 million. So there is a decline there. And I think that's significant of that is based on prepaid expenses and other current assets. But the other figure that I think is interesting is goodwill. So if we have a look at December 31st, 2022, they had a value of goodwill just in excess of $281 million, and now they don't have any figure for that, so here we're looking at 0. So that the effects of that is total assets previously in excess of 408 million, and now by removing that goodwill, we're just looking in excess of $121 million. So I think one of the key reasons for that reduction in the goodwill is because of the share price going down quite significantly, and we do need a reversal there. So if we now have a look at the if we now have a look at the liabilities, we can see here in terms of liabilities, there is a little bit more positive news here. The liabilities have gone down from just in excess of $19.6 million to $16.7 million. So obviously less debt there. And in terms of the total liabilities, a reduction from just in excess of 30 million to 28 million, but not a huge reduction, but still a reduction nonetheless. And then finishing off by looking at the operation and comprehensive loss, profit and loss account, which is unaudited. We can see product sales down from 432,000 to 27,000, and development revenue up from just in excess of 2.02 million to 2.1 million. So overall gross profit is down from 1.7 million to 1.4 million. However, what is positive from the company's point of view is the total operating expenses are down. So the company are saving money, or certainly trying to reduce costs. And one of the key reductions there we can see highlighted is general and administrative, which was previously 13.8 million, now just in excess of 5.8 million. So overall, total expenses are down from 23.9 million to 16.3, and that has resulted in a loss also down from $22 million loss to just in excess of $14.9 million loss. In terms of the net loss, also down quite significantly from $24.4 million to a loss of $8.7 million. So looks like the company are economizing and trying to be a bit more efficient. And then finally, to finish off, let's get a perspective on this from Pro Street Art, who's stated here. Page 26, it states that following about the SEC investigation. It looks like obviously this has had a negative impact on certainly the earnings and obviously some of the valuations. We know there's an investigation here going on with John Berger, George Palikaros in terms of the Wells notice, but what his opinion here is earnings are junk and he didn't find anything that he liked. No clear direction, company structure and leadership seem disorganized, and finances need to improve for Q4, otherwise MMAT is doomed. So I do agree that we need more contracts, we need more revenue, and we need more positive news. Finally, let's finish off by having a quick review of our weekly watch list. So in the previous week, we called out stocks such as TNON. That was the best call of the week, up in excess of 91.3%. And at one point, it was also up close to 200%. So a great opportunity there to take profit. So other good calls, we had CVM up 14.7%. Uber was up 7.5% after good earnings. And we also called out Disney, 3.8% up on the week. And also good news expected this week. DOCN, that was up 12.7% Monday and also up 1.7% on the week. We also called that the Barnes Group and that was good news there, up 6.8% on the week. CPS was up 6% Monday to Wednesday, then the sell-off and down 4.8% on the week. So not all calls are successful. It's always important to take profits where you can. And finally, if you would like to get the next weekly watch list as well as the daily stock alerts, details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.